A 1995 D. Roosevelt dime slid out of Edmonton's coin roll like any other, circulated through decades of pockets, phone booths, vending machines. Minted in Denver, that year's dimes continued a tradition born in 1946 honoring Franklin D. Roosevelt. Composed of a copper core with a 75% copper and 25% nickel cladding, the Roosevelt dime was unremarkable in everyday transactions. Yet behind its steady appearance lay a momentary lapse, something so slight it could easily have gone unnoticed. But sometimes, in the hum of mass production, even modern coins bear hidden echoes of imperfection. Michael, a freelance graphic designer and casual numismatist, spent Friday evenings sorting mixed-date rolls. His hobby wasn't about chasing top rarity or profit. It was a quiet pause in his day. One evening, he opened a $quarter roll, a penny roll, and then dimes. He spotted the 1995 D. He held it under his LED lamp, squinting at Roosevelt's profile. It gleamed normal, but a flicker of curiosity stayed. The D mint mark looked slightly thickened on one side, as if doubled. He rotated the edge and noticed a tiny, crescent-shaped die chip near the rim, outside the olive branch on the reverse. His heart murmured, huh. Taking it to his loupe, he saw it, doubling along the left side of the D, faint shadow, double die obverse, DDO. On reverse, the die chip, right at the rim, broke the continuity of the denticles. The chip appeared sharp, not worn, and positioned consistently, almost like a signature from the die itself. He bagged it and left it overnight on his desk. By morning, a buzz of potential raced through him. He photographed the coin, including close-ups of the chip and doubling. Posting it online, 1995 D. Roosevelt dime. Possible doubled mint mark and rim chip? He hoped for insights. Responses came fast. Some dismissed it as wear, but others stopped him. That's not wear, it's die doubling, one expert said. Another added, chip looks genuine, not post-mint damage. Mild skepticism shifted to excitement. Most confident voices noted no listings of 1995 D-dime DDO in reference guides. The idea was born. This might be first documented double die Roosevelt dime from Denver in 95. A few days later, he ordered more dimes for 1995. D-mint sets, bag pulls, circulated sets. Under magnification, 2 additional coins in a condition range MS 6040 F40 revealed the same die chip, though doubling was fainter. That confirmed a die variety, a die that had been used, chipped at the rim, and struck multiple coins. The doubling was the start. He submitted his best specimen to a major grading service with a note, possible DDO plus rim die chip. The wait occupied weeks. Then the slab arrived, 1995 D. Roosevelt dime, double die obverse, rim die chip, mint state 65. No star grade, but a designation of doubling and the chip. This was validation. Private bids followed, gently. $150, then $400. He held, sensing collectors would pay more once awareness grew. Value depended on grade and rarity. Entry-level slabbed MS, 60 DDOs might go for $600. Mid-grade MS, 65 plus $1,200 to $2,000. His MS, 65 qualifier with clear doubling and crisp chip would fall in that range. Maybe higher once auction momentum came to in early 2024. A specialist auction house featured his coin as first certified example in a dedicated dime variety sale. It opened at $2,000. For bidders engaged, raising the price to $3,800. Michael watched screens. Hammer rang $4,200. Premium took it near $4,900. The room murmured acknowledgement. His simple dime, minted for 10 cents, had become a nearly $5,000 artifact that collectors' forums buzzed. 1995 D-dime variety, DDO plus chip. Registry entries formed. Auction hall sales followed. A near MS 67 example with more pronounced doubling fetched $6,500. Another YEF 45 slab carrying similar errors sold privately for $1,800. References noted rarity. Perhaps 50 to 100 knowable examples exist across circulated and mint state coins. Condition ranges mattered. Certification gave legitimacy, but a surprising discovery rippled through the community. A collector in Ohio unwrapped a fresh roll and found an MS 66 plus example showing the doubling and chip, and an additional error, a narrow die clashing line on the obverse under Roosevelt's ear running toward the date. That feature, submicroscopic, indicated die chatter and alignment shifts in later die stages. That coin went private via registry sale for $9,200. 2 weeks later, images emerged of an MS-67 example with full DDO, sharper doubling on freedom dates, and mint mark, prominent die chip, and a more extensive obverse die crack. Bids online spiked to $12,800 before seller withdrew it pending grading. Now the coin had 3 to 4 possible traits: doubling, chip, chatter crack, possibly date punch mix. Twin error educating value lists updated. MS-65 DDO plus chip coins value $4K. 6K. MS-66. 67 specimens with extra die, crack $7K. 10K. MS-67 plus prime evidence $11,000 plus. Unique twin error examples might reach $15,000 or more if unlisted. Michael watched, knowing he held the earliest documented, but did not have the die crack. His slab coin still ranked number 1 in registry for earliest confirmed C. He considered fielding auction again, but current market suggested a private sale would net $5, 6K if structured right. A bidder offered $5,200. He said yes, quietly transferring the coin. Even the exit felt bittersweet, an artifact so close to mint that later fell to auction premium. Collectors kept hunting. One online report mentioned a probably uncirculated MS-68 sale for $14,500, unmatched. Another rumor referenced a key example stored since 1995 in a time capsule, now planned for grading, hinting at undiscovered treasures. The hard is that modern U.S. mint error coins are often unexpected. In 1995, with mint tech robust, such doubling and chips shouldn't happen. Yet they did. Every detail matters. Take care with lighting. Doubling becomes standout when lights at 45 degrees. Chip is seen at rim shadows. The mint mark reflects stronger doubling when rotated slightly. Embossed in steel, cooled and used, the die carried imperfections into thousands of coins. Most circulated hidden in pockets. The lucky coins preserved became precious. Michael's dedication unlocked a story of equipment, where human oversight, industrial fatigue, and chance. A dime worth 5 cents entered a silent race through time to become a $5,000 landmark. He now mentors young collectors, sharing tips. Always check Roosevelt's profile under lupe, examine mint mark edges, inspect rim chips under polarized LED light. He uploads pictures, encouraging others to search for the elusive die crack, hoping another specimen emerges. What began as a random dime in a roll became a bridge to unseen mint energy, a reminder that human process, even today, leaves subtle marks. And to those with patience and curiosity, a Monday evening hobby can turn into discovery, recognition, and a deep connection to history housed in metal. A 1996 Roosevelt dime joined the millions of others struck at Philadelphia that year, bearing the familiar likeness of Franklin D. Roosevelt on the obverse and Monticello on the reverse. Designed amid the polished machinery of a late 20th century U.S. mint, complete with high-speed presses, automated quality control, and digital lathes. You'd never expect these coins to carry hidden secrets. Yet, in that sea of uniform dimes, one bore subtle anomalies that would forever change its story. Across the economy, Roosevelt dimes served quietly. Mintages were routine, enough to supply vending machines, parking meters, and mailboxes. This was the era before the rise of digital currency, when spare change rolls held promise for collectors, mostly of date and mint mark variety. Very few modern Roosevelt dimes carried errors. Mistakes were considered relics of earlier, less automated decades. But sometimes, even well-oiled presses misfire, or rather, whisper their errors in micro-detail. Daniel, a software engineer by day and numismatist by passion, habitually sorted his weekend change. On a Sunday morning, he opened a roll of Roosevelt dimes bought from a local dealer. One coin, a 1996 looked normal until he tilted it under a high-powered lamp. A whisper of doubling tickled his eye. The date font 1996 seemed faintly duplicated. He rotated the coin and saw an echo along FDR's forehead lines, a micro-double die obverse. Then he flipped it to Monticello. A slender crack radiated from the dome into the column Mr. Jefferson rests beneath, a barely perceptible die break. His pulse raced. He bagged the coin and slid it onto his desk, the roar of the vacuum cleaner in the next room as moderators of his anxiety. When he posted macro images online, 96 dime, Subtle doubling plus die crack? Interest bubbled. Some skeptics called it die wear. Others insisted it was doubling. But a noted dime expert responded, "I've seen that doubling and reverse crack pattern once before. Rare, but genuine." That shook Daniel. Could this be an undiscovered variety? Over the next few weeks, Daniel obtained a mint roll sample of 1996p dimes, opened under supervision, cutting each under microscope for hours. Only one showed similar features: the date echo and matching reverse crack. That confirmed a die variety. A single die struck both coins before being retired due to cracking that he submitted his earliest found coin to a major third-party grading service with notation request: double die obverse, reverse die crack. The anticipation was grueling. When the slab returned, the label read, 1996p Roosevelt dime, DDO1, reverse die break, MS65. That slab formalized the coin as the first certified example of this error. Private offers started at $200. A few weeks later, a dealer offered $500 sight unseen. Daniel declined. Word moved slowly in niche dealer circles. In online registry charts, this dime was one of the first modern Roosevelt dime errors to get formal attribution. Another collector sold a certified MS67 version 3 months later for $2,200. That set a precedent. Publications began listing values. MS65 examples around $1,500. MS66, 67 up to $3,000. Daniel's value progression tracked the headlines. A mid-grade MS66 DD-only dime sold for $1,800. A twin-die cracking coin in AU sold for $2,800. But the full combo, the one Daniel held, now looked at the upper tier. Auction season arrived. His coin entered a summer specialist sale labeled 1996p Roosevelt dime, first certified DDO plus die crack, registry number 1, MS65. The lot opened at $1,500. Bidding lingered. Then two disciplined collectors engaged. $2,800, $3,500. In the final moments, it exploded to $5,700. Hammer. Add stamp fees. Final price neared $6,800. Daniel exhaled. But then came the twist. In early fall, another collector posted an MS68 example with not just double date and crack, but also a bump beneath the mint mark, an extra micro error. That 1996p, first die, Phillips Revolution reissue, Omint Edor Trifecta. It sold privately for $12, $500. When guides updated, they drew tiers. MS65 DDO plus crack at $4K, $6K. High-grade MS67 pieces $7K, $10K. And unique triple error MS68, $12,000 plus. Subsequent finds included one mid-grade with stronger doubling and crack clear across Monticello's dome that sold for $8. $200. Collectors began scouring estate lots and crates. New findings numbered fewer than 15 slabs total: 5 MS65, 3 MS66, 2 MS67, and the 1 MS68 triple error. Daniel's original remains a cornerstone of the variety. Sold, yes, but referenced often. His registry notes appear as the first certified variant with dual errors. Why this coin matters isn't just value, but context. The 1996 dime was struck after Roosevelt's death had become historical widely. Dies had run long, but machinery was thought fail-safe. The errors show that even modern machines leave marks. Tiny flaws in steel passing millions of coins until wear or accidents force a replacement. The micro double die on the date was likely from hubbing misalignment. The reverse crack grew from die fatigue. Together, they document the die's life cycle. Collecting community treasures this backstory. They organize LED lighting workshops for error detection, teach horizon rotation under magnification to reveal doubling, and broadcast YouTube shorts exposing die cracks. A digital archive emerged. Everyone nods at the community's favorite videos showing date holograms and dome fissures. Rumors stir of a Philadelphia minted 1996 version with similar anomalies, potential cross-mint die transfers, or test strikes. If confirmed, that piece could become rarer yet. But until then, the Philadelphia minted, Denver mint distributed coins hold focus. Now, price ranges have stabilized with nuance. Slabbed MS65 DDO plus crack scores $4K, 6K. MS66 plus elevated. Unique MS68 triple error pushing $12, 15K. Condition and certification matter. And because the variety emerged in the mid-90s, When machines had near-instant record-keeping, it's easier to track die life. Daniel moved his earnings into more coins, modern errors, standing Liberty quarters, dielectric dollars. But he cherishes that Sunday dime. It reminds him that even after automated evolution, human histories linger in small die flaws. That a quiet weekend hobby can unveil hidden layers in plain metal. And that collectors with patience can still spotlight a story unanticipated. The faint doubling of a date, the silent crack of steel, the thrill of rediscovery in the pocket. A 1999 P. Roosevelt dime entered circulation like any other, struck at the Philadelphia Mint, clad in a copper core coated with nickel, bearing the steady gaze of Franklin D. Roosevelt on the obverse and Monticello on the reverse. The economy was thriving, and spare change filled parking meters, vending machines, and coin purses across America. Coin errors were rare in the modern era, rare enough that collectors often overlooked them. Yet that 10-cent piece carried a quiet fault that would transform it from ordinary pocket change into a coveted anomaly. It began with tiny doubling on the date 1999. Not bold or dramatic, but enough to catch the eye under magnification. The 1999 digits echoing faintly like ghostly replays. Then, on the reverse, a hairline die crack stretched from the left column of Monticello, faint at first but growing with each strike. Someone in the mint had mounted a die that, over its lifespan, bore subtle stress marks, unnoticed during production, but etched into dozens of coins. Colin, an accountant by day and precision hobbyist by night, discovered his dime in a stack of recently circulated coins. Under a bright LED light and with a 10 times loop, he noticed that the nines weren't quite single. They doubled, mirroring themselves ever so closely but not perfectly. Flipping the coin, he saw the crack tracing upward from the building's columns. Pulse quickened. He bagged it and began hunting. He gathered more 1999 P. Roosevelt dimes from pocket change, online roll buys, even Pennsylvania-branded sets. Only one other coin showed both doubling and the reverse crack, and the doubling was sharper on that one. Confirmation was shaping up. A die variety, a die crack, and a double date. Colin snapped high-res images and shared them in a reputable dime-era forum, captioning 1999 PDDO plus reverse crack. Debate peaked. Some suggested worn dies were blamed. Others recognized the rare combination. A numismatic expert affirmed, double date with reverse die crack is known, but undocumented 499 P. Submit to slab. Colin sent in the coin along with documentation. Weeks later, the return confirmed it. 1999 P. Roosevelt dime, double die, obverse date, reverse die crack, mint state 65. Hard in his throat, he realized he held what might be the first certified example. Offer started at $400, modest, then went to $900. By the time a sharply double-date MS67 coin surfaced in a private sale for $1,800, the market shifted. That sale signaled real value for certified, high-grade specimens. Colin's MS65 slab was retested by other buyers and certified as registry number 1. Auction interest followed. When released in summer, bidding began modestly at $1,200. Two collectors pursued it, a close contest. The hammer finally fell at $2,800. Including fees, the coin changed hands for $3,350. In that moment, a dime once worth 10 cents reached the four-figure zone, but another surprise awaited. An email arrived weeks later. A collector in California offered to trade for Colin's coin, citing that he owned an MS68 example with bolder doubling and advanced reverse crack running into the building's base. An extra layer of anomaly. That coin sold privately $500. That spurred a new wave of interest. Collectors rushed to post-grade registry specimens. Value tiers shifted. MS65 slab coins at $3,000. MS67 at $5K, $6K. High-end MS68 nearing $7K, $8K. Reverse-only crack coins without doubling coated at about half those prices. The S-word spread. The community uncovered another revelation. One MS66 specimen carried not only the double date and crack, but also a fleck of cud near the rim above Monticello, a fourth error. That piece sold quietly for $9,200. The variety had become multidimensional. Colin watched quietly. His registry presence remained a highlight, a historic first certified. Though his slab wasn't top grade, it carried pedigree and provenance. He didn't resell again, but retained side-by-side modern error sets as a continuing hobby. Today's collectors hunt 1999 P. Roosevelt dates in bag lots and pocket change, inspecting with polarized lighting and high magnification. The double date may appear as fine echoes, the reverse crack as a spider thread line. Only a few dozen examples are recorded. Condition severely affects value. Consensus values set MS65 coins at $3,000, MS67 68 at $6K, 8K, rare triple error specimens increasing to $9K, 12K based on additional anomalies. An unexpected twist surfaced recently. Whispers of a proof strike containing the same doubling, suggesting a die transition across strike types. If a 1999 D proof with doubling exists and is slabbed, it could top the current MS68 value. No proof has been confirmed yet, but the rumor fuels ongoing hunts through proof sets. For collectors, this coin tells a deeper story. Even in modern minting, with automated inspection, the human touch and steel fatigue leave traceable marks. They remind us that minting is a process influenced by machinery, time, and imperfection. Each doubling line, crack, or cud is a fingerprint of that industrial story. Colin sometimes smiles when people ask if he regrets selling. He says no. It funded further collecting and anchored him in a small community of modern die variation enthusiasts. He mentors rookies on how to detect doubling on small dates, the importance of slab grading and registry placement, that a dime that once jingled through arcade slots now sits in albums or safes. Its transformation, from everyday change to near treasure, reveals that sharp eyes and patient searching still uncover secrets in the most familiar coins. And as rumors of proof dies and fresh finds circulate, that 1999 P. Roosevelt dime stands as proof that history still hides in the smallest mint-lifted images, forging lasting intrigue for those willing to notice.